a very long time. And while you might think that their business is mostly made up of Mario games and cheery, family-friendly video games, they actually have a history quite beyond that. So today, on this very special episode of The Opinionist, we're going to be looking at the top 10 weirdest moments for Nintendo. Number 10 on our list goes to Nintendo's weird and frankly convoluted treatment of the, I believe, 1996 RPG Earthbound. Now, for those of you who don't know what Earthbound is, it's a, as I said before, RPG with lots of weird elements, and it's one of my favorite video games of all time.
To make matters even better, the last Opinionist episode has music from it. Isn't that neat? If you want to see more Opinionist videos, follow me on Patreon, Twitter, and Instagram, and check out my personal YouTube channel too. I'm also on MySpace and Christian Mingle for all you single Christian ladies out there.
So, what did Nintendo do wrong? First of all, they gave it a weird marketing campaign that made it seem like it was really gross, when in actuality, there are very few disgusting elements in it. But by far the most egregious example is by not releasing the first game in the series, Mother, as it's called in Japan. Now, Earthbound is actually a sequel to a Japan-only game, and the Japan-only game was released with full translation, and it was about to be ported to the NES, the Nintendo console at the time, whenever Nintendo completely scrapped it. So Earthbound is a sequel to a game that never came out. Legend of Zelda is a supremely popular Nintendo game series, and to be honest, I've never really gotten into it. I'm not a huge fan of high fantasy, but I can see why people like it. But here's the thing. On the Nintendo 64, I believe 2 games were released in the Legends of Zelda title. One was Legends of Zelda Ocarina of Time. The other, Legends of Zelda Majora's Mask. And one of those games was really creepy. If you guessed Majora's Mask, you're right, because that game is kind of messed up. It's a huge departure from the other games in the series. I'll give you a little screenshots for reference. So, I'm about to show you some footage from a game. Super Mario World 2, Yoshi's Island. Alright, so that doesn't look too bad, does it? It's cute. After all, I even got a little tugging of the heartstrings. What if I showed you the commercial for it, which is decidedly less cute?
When is too much too much? To find out who crammed everything into Super Mario World 2 Yoshi's Island. 60 more levels, massive enemies, huge Yoshi tricks, all served up with the latest graphic technology, Morph Nation. Sure you don't have room for another little bonus level? Super Mario World 2, only on the Super NES. Still the big one.
Yeah, those two things don't really mix, do they? This brings us into a new type of things that are going to be on this list. Weird commercials. Nintendo had a lot of them, so you're going to be seeing some more of them on this list from now on. Item number 7 on our list comes courtesy of this GameCube commercial.
Save Mario from the supernatural. Luigi's Mansion. Only for Nintendo GameCube. Rated E for everyone.
Do I really have to explain to you why that's weird? These next two also kind of speak for themselves. The next item on our list is the 1998 Game Boy accessory, the Game Boy Camera. It was one of the first of its kind, and was the precursor to the Nintendo DS camera. But there was one major difference. You could play little mini games, and sometimes if you tried to exit the extension, this screen would pop up.
What is his name?
In this mighty, mighty year of technological progress of 2018, virtual reality is in style, shall we say. But not a lot of people know that in 1995, Nintendo tried their hand at it. Of course, that's not too surprising. After all, right now they're currently at work on their latest VR project, the Nintendo Labo, which looks pretty cool. But their first endeavor wasn't quite as cool. Enter the Virtual Boy. So, with that picture in mind, the Virtual Boy doesn't look too bad. Well, why was it a flop? Because there were a couple of key problems at work here. One, the graphics were terrible and were not at all virtual reality. Wow, just take a look at
Those high quality graphics.
Don't they just want to make your eyes bleed? Well, as you could probably tell, the Virtual Boy's graphics weren't so great. They were all this weird reddish color, and coupled with the awkward 3D and the geometric shapes, it just made for an overall really unpleasant viewing experience. And also, you couldn't sit down. You had to always stand up. Nintendo even released a couple of health warnings about the device, and that wasn't really popular. So the Virtual Boy flopped for a number of reasons, all of which I just listed. And since then, Nintendo has kind of stepped out of the virtual reality game. It's no wonder why. Alright, now this video comes full circle. That's right, we're talking about the Mario franchise, Nintendo's most popular series. In particular, we're talking about the sequel to the iconic and classic first Super Mario's game, Super Mario Bros. 2. At first, it might seem odd, like it's different from any of the other games in the series. And there's a real reason for that. That's because it wasn't originally a Mario game. Bah! Do you like being scared? Do you enjoy the feeling of chills going down your spine? Then you'll love the next entry on our list. This is yet another commercial. And this time, it strikes fear into the hearts of even the bravest of Nintendo fans. Yes, this is the infamous "You Cannot Beat Us" commercial, rendered in spooky 90s CGI. Witness, if you dare. Drum roll. Now it's time for number one. The weirdest Nintendo moment in history. And yes, it's another commercial.
Son, life isn't all about money. No, family, health, happiness, those are the important things. I guess what I'm really trying to say is, how much will it cost to keep this from your mother?
$39.95. That's all you need for these super cool Nintendo 64 games. All bestsellers and all players' choice. Hey, at these prices, maybe you can get two.
Grandpa?
Rated E for everyone.
This commercial is just seeping with weird ideas. Every time I watch it, I wonder, why? Who came up with this? Who was involved with this? Who wrote this? Who filmed this? Why did they think this was gonna sell their products? It just doesn't make any sense to me. But hey, I guess maybe the shock value was enough to get people buying their products and getting interested in their company name. I guess really that's what all of the items on this list do. After all, if I see something weird, I instantly want to go see what it is. So it's not a bad thing this type of stuff is weird. In fact, it makes it all the more interesting. So, Lucy and Zach, what's your favorite Nintendo game?
Dear Evan Hansen.
That's not a Nintendo game. So, Keishov, what's your favorite Nintendo game?
Pokemon Black.
Sharp, what's your favorite Nintendo game?
My favorite Nintendo game when I was young was Maniac Mansion.
Huh, good choice. Why did you like it?
I liked the characters and I thought it was really funny. I thought it was cool.
So, Andrew, what's your favorite Nintendo game?
Wii Sports. I used to play that a lot.
Okay, the last piece of information is the most groundbreaking one of all. It's also about Nintendo. I have a theory that Mario is a communist.
Nope.
Come on, man. Come on, what are you doing? Wait, it's a really good idea, because he always wears red, and his enemies are the Shy Guys, which represents the European nations that don't want to be involved in communism. It makes total sense if you think about it. No, don't